do cut it close. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Great to be with you here. As we get settled, I would like to introduce our guest musicians today, Kevin Allen and John McLaughlin, who will play the prelude for us. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Reverend J. Wolin, the settled minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Sarasota and Lakewood Ranch. We especially want to welcome visitors. You to participate in any of the events that are happening here. We invite you to consider registering on our guest book, which you can find if you're online via the link on our website. There's a banner on top marked welcome. And if you do, we promise we won't inundate you. You'll get a weekly email, newsletter, as well as Zoom links to our virtual events. If you're in person, we invite you. There's a sign-up sheet outside as well. And of course, we invite you, if you're in person, to join us after service for coffee and snacks. So we look for the social justice team. Today's offering is a Share the Plate offering. It supports Transition House, 13 church project that dedicated to helping one family at a time transition out of homelessness. The church, in partnership with the Sarasota Housing Association, who owns and maintains the Newtown Transition House, supports a working family in need of safe and affordable housing. The church furnishes the home for each family and provides a rent subsidy for the occasional expenses as recommended by the Housing Association. Our congregation recently furnished Transition House and welcomed its 4th family in there. Elizabeth and her 2 teenage sons are now happily settled. Elizabeth has started a new job, working full-time in addition to a part-time job. And her sons have started new school, and best of all, they have plans. Something that was not possible without the stability of a home. And Elizabeth and her sons send their heartfelt thanks to all of us here. And we ask you to please support the Share the Plate for Transition House by giving generously when that time comes. Just a reminder that what we do donate does make a difference in people's lives. I now would like to invite up the president of the church, Bill Payton, for a short presentation.
Good morning. Several years ago, I think in late 2018, early 2019, the nominating committee was having a meeting about who might become the leader of our church, and they were interrupted. There was a man in the background waving his hand and saying, "I want to be president. Please choose me, I want to be president." So they chose Dale Anderson to be our president. And I don't think Dale knew what he was getting in for, because he ended up serving 3 years as your leader through some of the hard times of COVID. I can tell you, as someone that served with Dale and for Dale, that it was an honor to work for them, that he always had the inspiration of this church, and he always had the welfare of this church in his mind. And so today, outside is a bench with a plaque on it honoring Dale. I would like for all of you to go out, rub your booty a little bit, warm it up for this man. But Dale, thank you very much. We appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you. You know, it's a real pleasure to have served and an honor. Because of the sports theme today, I was a little concerned that I was being told I was being benched today. But, so I appreciate what it was about, so thank you.
And now I'm calling up Catherine Bonner for a special presentation.
Surprise. Surprise, surprise, surprise. You have seen Reverend Jay now for a couple of times, but our membership committee said, you know what, we need to have a housewarming gift for them. So this is really for Jan, and she might share it with Jay. But Jan, if you will come up, they have put together this beautiful housewarming gift for you.
Aww.
And there's more things in there for you to enjoy, and you might share with Jay. But we welcome you, both of you. We just did not want you to feel forgotten. Thank you. Thank you.
So first, I do want to just thank Dale and Bill. I know people don't understand sometimes what being president of a church is, and it is a large commitment and a lot of work, but a lot of fun. So if you're thinking of leadership in the future, please talk to them. And I was about to say, what are you doing? There's an announcement I don't know about? Oh, it's a gift for us? Oh, okay. So thank you all deeply. Thank you very much. I have felt so welcomed here since I have arrived, and so even like I said I was hot, they put a fan up here for me. I mean, it's unbelievable, without asking, like really unbelievably. Thank you. Our opening words today are from the Reverend Richard Gilbert, entitled, "We Bid You Welcome." We bid you welcome, who come with a weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome, who are seekers of a new faith, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn. We bid you welcome, who enter this hall as a homecoming, who have found here room for your spirit, who find in this people a family. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. Please join me now in saying the words of affirmation which are printed on your order of service, as well as will be on the screen behind me. And we invite up Kira, who will be Kiana, I'm sorry. So deeply sorry. Kiana, who will be lighting the chalice. As we light this chalice together, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, we affirm our sixth principle, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. Now, as I invite you to rise in body and or spirit for our opening hymn, number 1015, I Know I Can. We will be singing verses 1, 2, and 5. And we will be changing the word brother and sister to sibling, and Don will be playing it one time through before we start singing, since I understand it's a new hymn for the congregation.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting 35 years for this.
Woo.
Today, we're going to get together for the first time ever, a UU church basketball team. Yes! Yes! Absolutely. You don't probably know this, but for the last 20 years, I've been teaching or coaching youth basketball over at G2 Bray in Manatee County, and this has been a big dream of mine, to be able to get a church basketball team. Because you know what? That church league here in Sarasota, they need to know UUs can get together as a team and make those Hail Mary buzzer beaters just like everybody else. But I guess maybe we could take some bad shots or make some bad passes, but everybody does, right? Right?
Catherine, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not opposed conceptually to a basketball team, but like, and I want to empower others, but this is the first I've heard of this.
Well, I'm talking about today's sermon theme, sports in religion.
Catherine, it's not sports in religion, it's sports and religion.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I wrote the sermon. I mean, like, if I have to change, I have to have a whole new sermon, like in 2 minutes. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's sports and religion. Sorry.
But wait, look. I have shirts.
Oh, nice shirt, though. Nice shirt. We should all get them when we go out to rallies and wear them together,
yes,
so people will know who we are. And if we ever start a basketball team, but today is sports and religion. I am going to be talking about how sports and religion are alike, with teamwork and prayer and ritual and joy. It wasn't about starting a basketball team. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
But I got my star player right here.
Oh.
And
whoa. I guess maybe we'll have to start a basketball team if we have players, right?
And I have cheerleaders.
We have cheerleaders. Wow.
Yeah, we have cheerleaders.
Wow. Well, let's have a committee and talk about this, okay?
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. How about beach volleyball? Can we have beach volleyball?
Catherine, do you see any sand here? We're in the sanctuary. What is this?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant beach ball volleyball.
Oh.
Beach ball volleyball. Nope, don't go away yet, you three tall people there. Don't go away yet. So, beach ball volleyball. This crowd can do it, because you can practice from your seats,
we can
right?
do it.
And I know you can do it because you guys are great as working as a team and keeping your eye on the ball. Mm-hmm. You got that?
Well, this does require teamwork, and it will be joyous if you make it joyous.
All right, we're going to make it joyous. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. All the younger UUs, except for you four, are going to go stand in the back. Everybody get up right now. If you're younger, go stand in the back. Okay? Spread out. Give yourself some room. And then with my younger helpers here, we're going to toss these out in the audience. Your job is to toss it up and slightly back so that they end up in the hands of the UUs at the back, okay?
Have fun.
You little guys in the back, once you get a ball in your hand on the playground, but it's raining, we aren't going to do that. We're going to make tie-dye jerseys today for us, all right? So everybody ready? So I need somebody to toss it on that side. You guys got some here? Go way over on that side. Reverend Jay, you want to do this middle part too?
Sure.
Okay. Kenneth, you go on that part. On your mark, get set, have fun, guys, go. Okay, go in the back.
Keep it going.
All right, we're done. We can go. Let's go. Kid. All right, guys, let's go.
Woo!
Come on out.
And now, after that robust excitement, time for our interlude to bring us back and center us again.
2, 3, 4.
So excellent, thank you. Our centering words today are from the Rabbi Sherwin Wine, who was a leader in the Society for Humanistic Judaism, from his book, Staying Sane. The most successful art forms of contemporary culture are sports events. In graceful dances of baseball, basketball, football, and hockey, in the vital energy of tennis, golf, swimming, and running, heroes of risk and defiance display the beauty of their skills. Each contest is a testimony to the human ingenuity and talent. A fast-moving basketball game with its miracle passes and its mind-boggling bursts and turns is as much more exciting ballet than standing on your toes. The ancient Greeks saw the connection between beauty and athletics. Eager fans stomp and cheer for feats of glory that they themselves cannot perform, but suggest the possibility of human potential. Sports is a supreme art form of the modern world. They are celebrations of beauty. Nothing else celebrates the beauty of the human form more triumphantly. And it feeds the human spirit with the hope of human resistance. End quote. As we enter into this time of silence, let us contemplate what feeds our spirit with the hope of human resistance, whether that be sports or something else. let go. As we are gathered for this moment, let us let go of the competitiveness in the ways this culture tries to shape us. Let us let go of the need to be right, even if we are. At least in this moment, let us let go of the need to one up. Let us let go of the chains that lock our hearts. And instead, let us be open. Let us be open to compassion. Let us be open to generosity. And so I hope during this time that you will open up, that you will open up your wallets, your checkbooks, and your credit cards, and let go of some of your money as we take our collection for sharing the plate with Transition House. And we invite you to please be as generous as you can. And for those online as well, there is, or even here on your cell phone, I should say, there is a link that you can donate to in the description on the YouTube video, or on the website uucsarasota.com under the description of today's service. Let this sacred time begin. My reading today comes from Coach John Wooden, considered to be one of the greatest men's college basketball coaches in history. His team over one stretch of 12 years won 10 national championships and at one point won 88 games in a row. And so from his book, A Lifetime of Observations and Reflections on and Off the Court, and I quote, Mr. Vince Lombardi is supposed to have said, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Well, if he said that, I disagree. I believe making the total effort is everything, right? And that is all I ever wanted and all I ever asked from myself or my players. It's all you should ever ask for or expect. Understand that you won't actually ever become the best of which you are capable. That is perfection. And we can't obtain perfection as I understand it. But we can work, and work hard towards obtaining it. If you do that, you will never lose in sports or in life. My coach at Purdue, Piggy Lambert, constantly reminded us the team that makes the most mistakes will win. Now that may sound a bit odd, but there is a great deal of truth in it. The doer makes mistakes, right? Coach Lambert taught me that mistakes come from doing, but so does success. The individual who is mistake-free is also probably sitting around doing nothing. And that's a very big mistake. I had mistakes plenty, but no failures. We may not have won a championship every year. We may have lost games, but we had no failures. You never fail if you know in your heart that you did the best of which you were capable. I did my best. That is all anyone can do. End quote. And now for some of the best music, I introduce our musicians again. Thank you. So, I know in the Words for All Ages, we sort of laughed and joked about sports in religion. But one thing that is not a joking matter is religion in sports. Now, I believe many athletes, of course, pray all the time during sports events. That is their individual choice. As well, I remember as a child how proud my family was when Sandy Koufax refused to pitch in Game 1 of the 1965 World Series because it was on Yom Kippur, the Jewish High Holy Day. It raises the question of what would we do? What would we sacrifice for one of our values? What would we refused to do, let's say, at work, because it conflicted with our Unitarian Universalist values. But the deeper question is, why should we have to sacrifice anything? Religion in sports has been in the news recently due to a recent Supreme Court case. The Supreme Court recently ruled that a coach at a public school could lead a prayer at midfield. Now, to many, this may seem harmless expression of his faith, but there are there were a lot of funny memes about this afterwards, about how they couldn't wait until someone led a Muslim prayer, or somebody from the Church of Satan led a prayer at midfield. But those jokes, of course, miss the point, because the majority of coaches are Christian. And someone who grew up in a religious minority amidst the overwhelmingly Christian culture, this ruling I find very disturbing. Not only is this person an authority figure to students, but he encouraged his players to participate in the prayer, and he had the power to decide whether a student athlete played or not. The coercive nature of pushing any religion by a government employee is disconcerting. The First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States states, and I quote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof," end quote. So let us be clear, the purpose of this amendment is to keep the government out of religion. The signers of the Constitution lived in a time when European governments wed their government with a state religion as a way to legitimize murder and conquest. Ironically, as well, this action is something that America has done by claiming manifest destiny as its justification to steal and plunder land from indigenous people throughout our own history. Thus, we should always be wary about how the Constitution is interpreted. But recent Supreme Court decisions have now allowed state and local governments to fund private religious schools. It has allowed vendors to deny LGBTQ individuals basic services if an owner wanted to claim a religious freedom. And now they are allowing government employees to coerce our children into praying in the name of Jesus. These rulings, in my mind and many others, are a perversion of our Constitution and the beginnings of an American Christian theocracy. It is why we must continually speak up for religious freedom, the freedom to not have government officials promote any particular religion. And although other religions are allowed to participate in this, due to the overwhelming majority of Christians in America, and particularly in positions of power, it will inevitably lead to religious minorities becoming subject to such coercion. And we must realize that sports in particular, which is a fun, recreational, and viewing event, is a powerful venue to transmit cultural values. And so, and to evaluate and explore is what cultural values are being transmitted to us from a very young age through sports. So playing and watching sports, I'll be honest, has been a big part of my life. It has taught me many lessons, both good and bad. Sports has been part of my family rituals throughout my life. And sports has allowed me to examine myself, my own emotional, mental, and physical abilities and limitations. Sports has taught me how to work within a team and to adapt within various circumstances and environments. All of these descriptors could be used in talking about the impact of religion as well, right? Growing up, football was very much like religion in my family. We had season tickets to the New York Jets. That's why I'm wearing green today, representing the New York Jets. Each week we had our rituals. We would dress in a certain way when we went to games. We would use repetitive chants throughout the game, sometimes with liturgical-like movements. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. We would clap together, often not necessarily in beat. Again, similar to religious activity when we're doing hymns sometimes, right? And there is always communal singing at sporting events, right? Such as singing the national anthem or college anthems or even popular songs that are meaningful to fans, like Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the 7th inning stretch, or from Boston, where they sing Sweet Caroline almost every ball game. So I have to say, I love the thing I love most about going to sporting events and also to religious services, because they are the only places I could go to sing publicly and not be told to be quiet, okay? And having said that, I do want to say that choir practice will be starting up, I think, next week. So if you want to sing with others or learn how to sing, we invite you to join in. And then after every football game that we attended, we would all gather at my uncle's house and eat ritual foods as we discussed the game and other events in our life. Now, I know we don't normally think of Chinese food as ritual food, but in this case it was. And it was probably one time, maybe I was like 10 years old or so, and I tried to institute a revolt demanding a democratic vote on what food to eat, trying to institute pizza as a new ritual. They thought I was such a cute little heretic. They told me I could have half a vote if I wanted to in choosing dinner, but of course that was not enough to sway them, even with my brother and sister, because football Sunday demanded ritual foods of spare ribs and dumplings and egg rolls for some reason, which I like, don't get me wrong, but every Sunday? And similarly, after service here, just to do that comparison, right? We gather with certain foods and drink as we discuss, I'm assuming you're discussing the service and other events in your lives. So this seeming unfairness of only receiving a half a vote has stayed with me my whole life. I bring it up at every family reunion, just really to annoy them, really, but it's seared in me the need for justice in voting, right? That we should each have our say and an equal say in our lives. So not allowing oppressive powers to limit the vote of people who do not have or are unaware of their own political power, something that still continues today in this country, in this state. Now, over the years, like my religious journey, I have chosen more diverse offerings to the gods other than Chinese food, whether they be food or a search for truth and meaning. And so in that search, I try to understand and make meaning about why and how sports is such an integral part of our society, and what can we learn from it for better and for worse. Sports spectatorship in general, right, leads to a commitment to a certain team, right, to support that team. It is really a commitment to a very abstract relationship, if you think about that, a commitment to gaining serious knowledge about the sport and the team and the players, a commitment really to something larger than just yourself, a commitment to something that you have really no control over, no matter how superstitious you may think, like if I cross my fingers it's going to be a strike or something. You know, and these commitments, they are passionately defended, contextualized, and even evangelized. Just talk to a Boston Red Sox or Yankee fan, the passion between the two of them is palpable. And it becomes like a tribal thing, a bonding, a connection that actually crosses almost all demographics in humanity, more so than religion in some ways. But it would be my hope, that we would have just as serious a commitment to our religious life as we do to our sports team, which is a commitment to something larger than just ourselves, a commitment to other people, some we may not know as well as others, a commitment to community, our community and the larger Sarasota community, a commitment to the idea of justice, and not just the abstract form of justice, that as well, but not just that, but in a real way, in ways that we can have an impact. And I would hope that we would defend and speak up in the face of disinformation. I would hope that we could learn to contextualize experience and worldviews that are different than our own. And yes, I hope we would even evangelize about Unitarian, Universalist values as much as we do for our favorite sports team, so others will learn about the religious freedom and the inclusion that we offer. Now, not everybody in the world will like the Yankees, including myself. I was a Met fan. And, you know, when you grew up in the schoolyard, you either had to like or hate one or the other. But most people, even non-sports fans, know who the Yankees are, right? So let's take it. Is there, who knows who the Yankees are? Just raise your hand. Okay, most of you know who the Yankees are. A baseball team from New York City, from the Bronx, actually, not far from where I grew up. But my hope is that every single person in Sarasota and Lakewood Ranch knows about Unitarian Universalism, right? We know not everyone will agree with our views and values, but I want them to know who we are and what our views and values are. Our religion, our team can be expansive and needs to be welcoming to people who are out there searching for meaning in a religious community, who are just not aware that we exist. And just like sports, it takes practice, it takes experimentation, trial and error. You know, a sporting event can be a simple metaphor for life. It has a beginning, it spans a length of time, and it has an end. Viewing or participating in a live sporting event is more compelling than watching it on a recording. I say that just like the difference, if I'm sure many of you, right, who've gone to the symphony, or we just heard these two excellent musicians playing live, is different than just hearing a recording of the symphony. It is that shared experience of what happens live in the moment that helps us make meaning and helps us understand ourselves. Do we practice and train for that, for what life brings us? Do we work hard to reach our goals? Do we give life all that we have? When the going gets tough, do we quit or do we persevere? When things aren't going well, do we learn new tactics or strategies and gain wisdom so going forward we will have a better chance of achieving our goal? Just as sports adapts to changing environments, such as trying new innovative plays and changing rules. Don't get me started on the designated hitter in baseball, but so do we have to adapt to changing rules and environments and changing religious environments. Sometimes the new plays or ideas work, and sometimes they don't, right? So I encourage you in your life and in this congregation to keep trying and see what works. And if it works, keep doing it, right? But to keep working, to experiment with new ideas and new ways of being in community with each other and with others, and to be open to continue to learn and adapt to a changing world. And always remember that there is a tribe of people here who will always have your back, to defend you, to lift you up when you fail or fall, and to cheer for you as well. It's important to remember, it is important to remember, we are all on a continuum, right? A continuum of ability, knowledge, wisdom, spirituality, among many, many continuums and pathways. And I see part of our gathering together as a way to explore and realize where we currently are on each continuum. Depending on an individual's current life stage and circumstances, let us understand and respect they may be at a different point on the continuum than we are. Let us encourage people to do and be the best that they can, the best they can wherever they are in their life and on that continuum. Let us allow others to continue growing in the ways that they can. No one gets left behind, but we must all keep moving or we will be stagnant. Using sports again as a metaphor, when I played basketball in the schoolyard, I was often the worst player on the court. But if I showed up, I got to play, no matter what. By practicing each week against superior talent, I was able to improve my skills. A valuable lesson I learned was to not be deterred because someone else is more skilled at something than I was. Okay? Let us be less judgmental about ourselves, and let us realize that we can always, always continue to increase our skills, knowledge, or wisdom at any age. And we just need to be and do the best that we can be, not compared to someone else, but compared to whatever we can be in that moment. Now, I was never going to be a great basketball player, but I have found the lessons of practice, perseverance, constant improvement, and awareness of our strengths and limitations is critical to improving our happiness in life. The goal is to learn what our strengths are and to focus on them, right? And so in basketball, I knew I was never going to be a great scorer because everybody was taller and stronger than I was. I seemed to stop growing in 6th grade, right? But I was able to out-dribble and out-pass and out-hustle everyone else. So I focused on that and made myself valuable in that way. And so I learned we each have a part to play on any team or in any organization. And I think that is true in congregational life as well. So we need to ask ourselves, what is our strength as a congregation? And then ask, what are our strengths or gifts as individuals? And then we should focus on those gifts. How can we, as individuals, serve the greater whole of the congregation? Teamwork, another lesson I learned from sports. We have many different people here with many, many different and diverse gifts, some known and some yet to be realized. There are some in the world who are self-starters, know exactly what they want and how to get it. But most of us struggle, right, along the path and make mistakes and keep trying to figure it out. And that is why I think so many of us who are not born Unitarian Universalists ended up in this religion. We kept trying to figure it out, right? we kept trying, and how to make meaning in our lives in this world. We found others' rigid answers non-satisfying, and we kept looking. But sometimes we simply tire on the journey and want to sit back and into the cool, calming comfort of the status quo. But we know just from watching sporting events, like the team that has a lead and plays prevent defense. So for those of you who don't know football, prevent defense is a willingness to give up small gains to prevent big gains, and it never works, right? It doesn't. Like playing in life, the same as in life, right? If you just try to coast, you will be overtaken by the ever-changing circumstances of life. And so we must be intentional in all our actions, live out our lives based on our values, and to make the most of each moment, and to find joy in each moment. And so, as we end, I ask you to join me in on a chant. Go, you, team, go. Let me say it. Go, you, team, go. One more time. Go, you, team, go. May it be so. Please rise in body and or spirit for our closing hymn number 348, Guide My Feet. Our closing words are from Vince Lombardi. After the cheers have died down and the stadium is empty, after the headlines have been written, and after you are back in the quiet of your room, and the championship rings have been placed on the dresser, and all the pomp and fanfare have faded, the enduring things that are left are the dedication to excellence, the dedication to victory, and the dedication to doing with our lives the very best we can to make the world a better place in which to live. Please join me in the words of extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you for your presence here today.